I haven't done one of these for a while, and that's because I've just been busy with life and haven't really needed to do one. But a lot of people really seem to enjoy them, and recently I've been going through some stuff myself, and I figured that this message would be good for myself and other people. So without further ado, if you're trying to think about giving up or you plan on giving up, just listen to this. You can keep it on in the background while you're gaming, driving in the car, at work. Doesn't matter. I just hope you take the message to heart. While there's a lot that's changed about the world from when I was a kid to things that have stayed the same, one thing that I've always noticed is that there's the preservation of self-image. If you have pimples on your face, maybe this girl's not going to want to fuck you. If you don't have a nice car, maybe people won't think you're cool. There's a lot of image and status in society, which has prevalated for a long time. But especially now, with the combination of the media and internet, it is much, much more prevalent than ever that people either want to look cool or please some sort of non-imaginary audience. Furthermore, that can take a toll on the effect of somebody as a person. Maybe you're not good enough for something. Maybe you can't get what you want done. Maybe your dream will never ever happen. And society plays up on this. It's reinforced by the social media you consume, by the YouTube videos you watch, by the news you watch. But I've got some good news. You matter, and you're enough. And you shouldn't want to give up. So let's take a step back. Let's see what got either you, or in this case me, to this point. A point where you feel like giving up and throwing it all away. I'm no stranger to this myself. The last time I had an incident like this, I lost my job, lost my dog, and my grandmother in the span of 3 days each. I decided that I would want to jump off a bridge. Luckily, I ended up not doing that, mostly because I was talked out of it, and not something that we're going to emphasize here. Having somebody to talk to, anybody at all. It doesn't matter if it's a family member, a friend, some guy on the internet, or some random meme page that tells you to just not give up. If you're like me, and you like getting helpful advice as much as a kid reading a book, then yeah, this might sting a little bit, but I'm going to have to be 100% honest here, guys. Sometimes you just need somebody to tell it like it is, and sometimes you just need somebody to help. For as much as you can kick and scream about not wanting help, it might be the best thing for you at the end of the day. I'm not talking about professional therapy or psychiatric wards. I'm just talking about somebody there to talk to. There's always going to be somebody, and if you don't have anybody, fuck it. You can DM me as much as you want. I have about 3 socials that will be in the comment section, and you can just talk to me about anything that you're having problems with. Hell, I already have people doing that now, and I'm more than happy to talk and help you guys with that. So how do you get over this feeling of hopelessness, this feeling of giving up? Well, I would personally recommend by starting and looking at the problem. I would say maybe just spend about a day or two really just soaking it up, absorbing it, and feeling like how you feel now. I'm guessing if you're watching this, you already feel hopeless and empty and dead inside, which those are totally normal feelings to have. But let's focus on how you can fix that problem. They can take multiple different forms, but my point is, you don't have to fix it right away. Sometimes these problems are huge and complicated and might take years to solve. Sometimes they can be solved almost immediately. The point is, what I'm trying to say is, please figure out what the problem is. Isolate the problem and either neutralize it or start to make it better. Only you can make yourself feel happy. Remember that. Not a person, not a thing, not a place. You're responsible for your own happiness. And with that in mind, I believe that everybody can do that. Everybody can be happy and content with themselves, even for just a little bit. Even somebody like me. What's not healthy is staying in the problem, sitting there and wallowing in your own suffering and just contemplation of what's going to happen. That's not healthy for anybody, and I understand that a lot of people really kind of stay stuck in here. And I don't blame them. It's an easy solution, and you don't feel anything. It requires no effort. You just kind of sit there and you feel sorry for yourself. But I'm here to say that that's not the way to do it. That's not a healthy way to handle problems like this. I know it might seem difficult, but getting up and asking for help, even if it's just a, hey, how you doing? Or just kind of reaching out or in a DM or making a post, that helps a lot. But it's up to you to make that happen. Nobody else can be responsible for your own happiness, like I said previously. If you need to get out of a problem, it has to be you that does it. Let's take a quick segue away from working on yourself to maybe using an outlet to ease the pain of the problem that you have. Let's say maybe you go on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram perhaps, maybe not Instagram in this case, because it's more or less just a video consummation platform. You just kind of watch videos. Unlike Instagram compared to Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, the rest, those three have a lot of user interaction and user bases that are built around comment sections, community, and in the case of Facebook, news outlets and pages. Now, a lot of this stuff is kind of designed to get clicks, so as a result, a lot of the page content, a lot of the learning algorithm you'll see, and maybe even some of the news articles are going to be just hopelessly depressing to look at and read about. They're designed to boil your blood and make you feel angrier or more depressed, or maybe make your problem even worse. Please don't listen to these things. These are content and projects made by people trying to harvest clicks and views for money. And of course, with the internet as a whole, you have to remember, it's not like this in the real world. Everything you see, every negative person you see on the internet will almost not exist in real life. All you have to do is just go outside, or just talk with your friendly local neighbor, or maybe do something with your local community if you have that. It will be much easier for you to see that the world isn't just so dour, depressing, and angry like the news paints it as. Which, yeah, of course, that makes sense, but you'd be surprised how many people need to hear that. It's not out to get you, it's not out to ruin your life, and it's not going to be, quote, so over, bros. It's just magnification of a much smaller issue and a much smaller problem. Sadly, this magnification of things kind of take a toll on some people. Some people can only process this as a reality. Maybe this is the only reality that they have. And to that I say that I feel very, very bad for you, and I know for a fact that you'll be able to get out of this. You'll be able to break that cycle, and you'll be able to realize that this is really just a trick to just keep you enthralled in the problem. Almost like keeping you a slave to negative opinions and emotions. Now, I'm not going to exclude myself from this. I have a Twitter. I look at it sometimes. But at the same time, I've noticed that the way that Twitter promotes articles, news, and recommended tweets is inherently just very dangerous to people that really kind of only just surf the internet as their hobby in their free time. Next thing you know, you'll see an article about something bad that's happening, and then another article that even makes it worse, or maybe something similar to it. And that kind of instills a mindset in your head that everything is over, things are fucked, there's no help for anything. And that's just simply not true. I thought about this for about a week when some stuff happened to me, and all I really did was I went to the grocery store and I met some super nice people that were just at checkout, and I was thinking, these people that they work a very minimum wage job, very unfulfilling, they can still be very happy and just content with their life choices. They don't ponder this internet existentialism that a lot of people have. Now, of course, this is called being terminally online, and it's a very, very common problem nowadays, and it's something that I wish more people would, talk about and recognize. Being terminally online is very bad for you, which should go without saying, but I feel like I have to bring it up here. You'd be surprised. Some people, this is really their only outlet to interact with their loved ones, family members, maybe even friends, and it's side polluted with these toxic, news stories, people, takes, all of this stuff. Again, I really want you guys to not hyper-focus on it, and just remember this, that the louder the voice, the more quiet the minority usually. The term, the silent majority and the louder minority are exactly the reasons why these exist. This is why people bring them up. Remember that there's still good in the world and that the internet does not reflect upon what's actually happening in real life. Sometimes picking up a hobby is fantastic as well. A lot of people have things like painting, drawing, writing, maybe even writing their own stories or analyzing content. Or maybe they have something like bowling or maybe hiking. These are all really good, but maybe you don't have something like that. Maybe you don't have an outlet to kind of help blow off that steam. Well, if that's the case, I recommend you find one. And I don't recommend the outlet being on the internet a very good hobby for that. I recommend something like going outside, taking a walk, lifting weights. And of course, if you don't have a gym membership near you or anything like that, not to worry. Going on a walk is just perfectly fine. When I was kind of in the crux of the worst parts of my life, all through 2020, I really kind of just went on these walks at night, and I just kind of walked through these trail paths down in the prairie where I live. And it was very helpful, and I kind of learned a lot about myself, and it was very self-reflective. Some people put on a podcast and listen to that while they're doing their hobby. My point is that this needs to be something that you feel is very healthy that you can do. And if it sounds like I'm being very baseline and just very simple, as I'm kind of approaching this as somebody that has no options. They haven't tried or weighed any of the options yet. Of course, there's other factors and different things I'm not considering right now. After all, everybody's different, but these are just things that I've found to help me. And I've got a lot of problems, as is, especially some mental ones. But I found that just making things and being creative to myself is just a good way to mitigate that. I can put my problems into the media. I can kind of blow off steam with the way that I make my own projects. Of course, again, every case is different, and this might not be the case for somebody else. But what if you don't have anything that is really that helpful for you to blow off steam, or you don't have a support group of people? Well, to that I say, I mean, you can always find it, and you just have to keep going, man. I know it seems hard, but you have to continue soldiering forward. Put one foot in front of the other, and just keep walking. Time heals all wounds, guys. That's something I feel like not a lot of people recognize nowadays. A lot of people want things to be solved very quickly, something rather quick, very simple. So they look for very short-term solutions, which short-term is fantastic, and maybe they can turn into a long-form solution. But other times, maybe your problem isn't that simple. Maybe you need time, and you need to wrestle with something either you did yourself or something that happened to you. To that, I do recommend therapy, but I also recommend talking it out. Just always find a place. There's always somewhere to go. Unless you have literally nobody to talk to, then I don't think there's a place you can't go where you can't talk about this. And if you do have nobody to talk to, well, you have me. You can email me, you can DM me on multiple socials, and I will answer. I'm there pretty much always night and day. I don't really sleep. I've got my own problems that I have to tackle. And thanks for tuning into this video, guys. It was a little bit of a quick one, and I know this wasn't any of the unorthodox content, but I'm going to be, not promoting, but pausing a lot of other projects that I have right now due to it. So the World War Chiefs trailer is going to be on hold, along with a few other things. Again, thank you so much for checking it out, guys. Share this video around and just keep going, please.